Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. A disclaimer, I'm a little under the weather, so I apologize. My voice is going to sound like, it's going to sound a little iffy. I'm not going to lie, CJ. But we back at it again. Your boys recording Three Man Weave. We coming at you guys live on a Monday. It's October 20th. And CJ, we got a lovely docket for you guys today. We're going to go through our Dynasty draft, man. The time is here. We were able to do it in a week. Like I told you, I was able to get some guys together and
Crazy
make a
that
league
you were able
happen.
to do
And
that too.
yeah,
That's fire, bro.
yes, they're like right before the season, so the timing couldn't be better. And
hmm
yeah, I'm a little sick, bro, but I'm feeling good. I think this is the best part of my day so far. I've just been sleeping and preparing for the draft, trying to see who we're gonna take, but ended up trading up, so I'm feeling pretty good. But how
Crazy.
you doing, CJ? How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing great, bro. It's we finally got are getting to do it, You've been talking about a dynasty and leading up to the beginning of this year, you were telling me about it and I was like, "Oh, bro, like I'm down to do that." That sounds like super fun. I think we can make a little league and trying to
Yeah,
get a group of people. So, we were able to do it and our draft is tonight and it just so happens to be on Three Man Weave Day, so it ends up working out. So we're recording our like I guess live, right? But it's gonna be post
yeah,
production. So at the day of the draft for our dynasty, and it's the start of it. Dynasty, for everyone that doesn't know, each year usually in fantasy you draft a new team each year. With dynasty, you keep the same players. Obviously, you could trade and make moves and whatnot, but whoever you draft for one season, it will more likely be on your roster the following season if everything goes as planned. So that's what we're doing for hoops, and we were able to get a full 12-man league, so I'm ready,
I
bro.
know.
I'm excited. I have the fourth pick, so I'm right behind you, and I think it's gonna be interesting for people seeing our first couple picks. So I'm excited to see
Yes, sir.
what everyone
Yeah,
thinks.
bro. I appreciate your time, man. I know I'm feeling a bit under the weather, but it looks like Victor Wembanyama went first overall. I mean, I'm not really
Not
surprised with that.
surprised.
So yeah, it's we're kicking it off with a bang. But we had a couple contract extensions, CJ, that I wanted to chop it up about. Obviously, whenever you get to your pick, you can talk about it.
For sure.
For the audio for the audio listeners, right now I'm picking at 3. I was able to trade my pick 7 and my pick 15, so I'm not going to be picking in the second round. I ended up moving up to get pick 3. Hopefully, I'm able to get Luka Doncic. And if not, I'll probably take Nikola Jokic. So my thought process behind that was just to trade up to get my guy. I have a couple other dynasty leagues like CJ was talking about earlier. Uh, and I think in those formats, I wasn't able to get my guy, Luka Doncic. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to do that in this league specifically. So I have him on my roster to talk to you guys about. So I'm excited. We'll see if I'm able to do that. But yeah, bro. I mean, Kevin Durant. Let's start it off hot, bro. Houston Rockets, 2 years, 90 million.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts behind that? I know I've been sick, but I've been seeing all these guys get paid.
Yeah, bro. It's been, seeing that just solidifies all my questions of how the Rockets going to be. I feel like
I agree.
obviously we don't know what he's going to be on the rocket ship. We know what KD can be, so we know his ability on the court and how impactful he could be. But just seeing it with him be able to sign that 2-year extension, I think it just kind of he might honestly, bro, he might end his career in Houston. It's kind of what like that kind of showed me a little bit like realistically in the next 3 years, are you going to be able to win a chip or make it to that mountaintop at least? And I think with the
Come
roster
on.
as of right now, I think they can. Luca was taken.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna have to take Jokic then. Obviously when Luka gets taken before that happens,
Man,
you have a couple options here. This was not in my. I was thinking he was gonna take Yoke.
yeah, me too.
Uh, I
This
think
put
here what I'd have to Shea, Giannis, or Jokic. The reason we're going to talk about those 3 dudes right now is obviously Giannis is in a situation where he has to lead his team. We know he could be an MVP candidate. He was in our top 5. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is already. I mean, there's not really much more that needs to be said. The recent Finals MVP, obviously the most recent MVP as well. The only 2 things with those dudes are that you know I don't really have any like gripes about them. I just don't know if from a fantasy perspective if they're better than Nikola Jokic. So that's kind of my thought process right now. Like
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I love Shea, I
Yeah.
love Giannis,
I've,
but if you had to give me those three with Jokic, I'm gonna do it. Taking Nikola Jokic on the
man.
Killers.
Now I'm on the clock, man. I have a couple. I think I know who what my gut wants to go with, right? But like you said, you got to really think of fantasy, right? Who's gonna get
Yeah,
points? Um, I'm going with my guy SGA, bro. I'm going with SGA. I think
yeah,
it's only right. First time in a dynasty league, I get my favorite player on my favorite team coming off of a crazy season. He might not replicate it
he lucky.
exactly, but I think he's still gonna have an incredible season. Obviously, with Giannis, he's probably gonna put up a lot more stats, right? But I think for me, building around a point guard, there's a lot of good guards in this league, but I think it's only right, bro. It just makes sense for me to
I
get
love
him,
that.
and I think
Good for you.
I think he's the one, man.
Yeah, that's a good pick right there.
Cam's up
Yeah, I'm with
next.
that. I'm with that. I
Ooh,
like my pick though. I think getting Jokic is shit. He's the second best compared to Doncic. I was looking to get a guard at the spot who did those triple doubles, but Jokic is a center who's the best center in the league, and he's going to compete for MVP this year. So
yeah,
I think he's going to make my team pretty competitive.
yeah. I think he kind of fell in your lap, Loki.
Oh, I know.
Like obviously
I
you
was not
wanted Luca,
expecting.
right? But you still got
I was about to
one of the
say. I
best players
mean,
in the league. I mean, obviously
for the next
we have the top four picks, so we're gonna get one of the best players in the league. But like, it was Luca or Jokic, and I was assuming Jokic was gonna be the second pick of this draft.
I was as well, bro. And I'm not picking in the second round either, so I've got to
You got to
build a
really build,
plan
yeah.
around that. We were talking about Kevin Durant.
I think that was a perfect player to do that with too, to be honest.
Yeah,
Cuz
yeah,
he's a
bro. Like
big
I'm
man. You can get there's a lot of good guards like I said. Like there's
tons of guards.
like good guards and then there's great and then elite. Obviously the Lucas, the Shays, like those are elite, but like you can get a good guard that's going to get you a lot of fantasy points. And dude, that was the thing.
100%.
I showed Zach like the lock-in, the fantasy lock-in thing. And he was like, "Oh," he's like, "Well, they only play one game a week." I'm like, "Nah, bro, they play like four." You know what I mean? And he was like, "I forgot about that." He was like, "Damn, so that's like a whole other perspective of the game." So I kind of like that. You know what I mean? I hear people are kind of iffy about it,
They
but
are. They
I,
are.
I kind of like it though because it kind of is Shay's or I feel like that's really good for like the players that are inconsistent. You know what I mean? Like you have a
Right.
player drop 30 points and then the next game he gets like 10 or something. It's like, oh, I'm gonna take that 30-point game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know.
Right.
Kind of was
So
interesting. I think it's like I was saying, it adds another perspective to the
dynamic.
league.
Right.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I
Yeah,
like it.
bro. I
Anthony
was,
Edwards got drafted number
okay.
5.
Yeah, Ant went
He's
to
to
Cam's
Cam.
team.
I think that's
Yeah,
solid. We
that's a solid pick. I think we haven't talked about Ant a ton on this podcast really since the offseason files. I know the starting five just dropped too, so it was pretty. I remember he was in that first season, but yeah, Anthony Edwards is somebody you can build around easily, and I think he was in our MVP candidates as well. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I think Jokic, Shea, Ant is pretty solid to me.
Mhm.
We'll see, bro. We'll see. I'm excited for this season. I think we have a couple other topics that we're saving for later, but yeah, Kevin Durant getting signed to Houston just signals to us that
He
he's the guy
he's the
there,
guy.
man.
Yeah,
And
he's gonna be there for a little while. So that always gives
yeah,
you that always like that's something that you're like Houston fans were probably gonna be thinking of at the end of the season. So the fact that you could get him before like he even starts your contract year, it just makes it even better because you can actually build around him for these next 2 years. And you can kind of
right.
put your chips all in per se. Like who's saying like we're not. I'm just being hypothetical here. They end up making it to the semis or something, ends up losing. Oh well, we could. Who was good? Who can we move around? We have
Right.
KD here for another 2 years.
hmm
Obviously
Did
he
you
said,
see he was at the two?
yeah, I did see that. What the dude? That
Excuse
lineup
me.
is gonna be crazy.
What do you think about that,
Uh,
CJ? I mean, 6'8", 6'9" at the two
two,
spot.
yeah. I mean, he could play the
Man,
two. I'm not gonna lie to you,
nah, for
but
sure.
it's
That's
just
the
more.
thing.
It's more shocking because we probably really haven't
Come
seen him at
on.
the two since probably OKC or
No, for
Seattle.
sure.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, Cade,
Cade went okay.
Giannis, and then
So
Cade.
he, so Bobby, who's my guy, honestly now, because Bobby was the one who wanted to randomize the order. So shout out Bobby if you listen to this, brother. He was the one who took my seventh pick, and he ended up taking Cade Cunningham. I was gonna take Cooper Flag or Cade here, so Evan should take Cooper Flag or Paolo. Those are the two guys on the board that I would take.
Yeah,
Flag, Cooper Flag, obviously is going to be one of our storylines probably for the both of us. Rookie of the Year candidate, 19 years old. So we're doing a dynasty here. We're talking about keeper.
mm-hmm.
You want to have youth. I think getting Shea, a little younger than Jokic, is probably why you went with Shea, right? He's a little younger than Giannis too.
Yep.
That makes sense. Even from a fantasy perspective, you still got to think about your age and your youth. And somebody I was thinking about was actually Durant, bro. So we got, you know what I'm saying? We got a couple other dudes as well that signed extensions that, they have to figure out what their story is going to be. I think we got a couple key storylines going into the season. One of them's Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond,
Yep.
obviously Kevin Durant, but you see Christian Brown getting that extension today, bro. What do you think about that? Obviously the Kansas product,
Bro.
won a national championship there. He's one of the better, all around wings that we have in the league. What were your thoughts about the 5-year 120?
Man, I think that was a perfect contract for everyone, both parties. I think the Nuggets end up locking up one of their better young players that has proven that he can perform at the highest level in the playoffs. And I think with someone like that, that's what they're missing. Jokic is it's been the question of him if he's going to be able to, is he going to stay here? What's going to make him want to stay here? And I think, when you have a player like Christian Brown, like he proved it to us in the playoffs. He could create his own shot. He could defend well. He could hit the three. So I think it's a perfect player to put around Jokic, and he's only going to make him better. So, and obviously he's going to get better the more he progresses throughout his seasons in the league. So yeah, I'm excited, bro. I think that's a perfect pickup, and it's like at a discount as well. So
I was gonna say a lot of good business was done today. Specifically, the Nuggets camp, firing Calvin Booth and Mike Malone, they had to make a decision. I ended up taking Jokic with the third pick, right? So I'm in on the Nuggets. I believe they'll be in a proper environment. We'll probably see them go deep into the playoffs. And to CJ's point, I mean, Christian Brown makes them. It kind of solidifies them as a real contender, bro. I was a little worried about their youth and their core, and this is the one player they've developed over the course of the last 2-3 years, and he's turned out pretty well. Peyton Watson is the other dude. We haven't talked about him at all on the pod, but if he gets re-signed as well, I think hitting on those two guys, having them in your lineup, while you're making a playoff push is really useful. We saw Paolo go and then Cooper Flag, so it's with pick. What was it, 8 and 9?
Yeah, and then 10 was Trey, and now we're on the 11th.
Okay.
I like that Trey.
So we're kind of
bro.
spinning around here.
You were talking about storylines. I'll give you one of mine since Trey Young came up. He's a part of my storyline that I want to hear. What can the Atlanta Hawks be with a healthy Jalen Johnson and Porzingis and all the additions that they just added in this offseason? I think that's with the East being what it is, and we've seen Trey be able to make it to Eastern Conference Finals, a couple years ago, but I think this is his time to kind of prove it, and he has a team around him to do so as well. Jalen Johnson ended up getting injured last year, played, I think, like 20 games, like around that, and he was looking like a, MIP for a lot of people and, all-star for sure before that injury. So I think with the additions of that, we saw what Dyson Daniels ended up doing at the end of the season, all defensive team, third place in DPOY, getting league in stealers. I think it's they have Nickeil Alexander-Walker now. They have Porzingis. I think this is the most stacked team that we've seen Trey Young with. So I want to see what that can be and what if they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals potentially.
Yeah, 100%. I love that, bro. Yeah. Okay, so we had Trey and then Ahmed. Okay, I love that storyline, man. I think the Atlanta Hawks are on my radar as well. Kristaps Porzingis, Jalen Johnson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You brought all those guys up. I think the continuity is a little bit of a question mark for me, just adding the new guys to the roster. But Quinn Snyder's been there. We know Trae Young's going to be performing. I think I've been most taken aback by his assist numbers. Like they continue to improve every year, and
Yeah.
at this rate, he's going to be averaging 13, 14 assists at one point, which is pretty gnarly. Obviously, the dynasty values baked in with the assist there
Hmm.
being worth 2 points. So I think Trae Young's a solid pick. And then, yeah, in terms of like the storyline, bro, that's a great pick. I think the Hawks will be one of the key teams to watch for in the East. Just, I think they'll be a lot more competitive. We talked about their win total too.
Yep.
I think me and you were both kind of on the over. It's sitting in the high 40s, but there's a reason for that.
Hmm.
They're forecasting that they'll have a decently healthy team, and I think even they can withstand even a couple injuries as well, just
I
because of
agree
their
too.
depth,
Yep.
which is Luke Kennard. They got a couple other dudes,
Hmm.
so I think they'll be good. That's a good storyline to watch out for, my man.
Yeah, bro.
Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
it's a banger one. That's when I've been excited since seeing all their off-season acquisitions. I just saw that and was like,
Yeah,
man, they are we're already a pretty decent team without that. So,
I,
what
I got a
is
question for you. Speaking about that, who would you say had the best offseason then? Is it the Hawks?
um Hawks
Kind of a
or
tough
yeah, I was
question.
gonna say Hawks or I would say
Could-
Magic maybe or maybe
Okay,
Clippers. Like those are the ones
okay,
that come to
yeah.
my head like
I
off
was
the
thinking
top.
that.
So
Yeah,
Magic, depending
Clips,
on
Bradley Beal.
how good Bane is, obvious. That was my other storyline. But y'all, you know me, I'm
Magic.
Magic. Yeah,
Mine was the Clippers, bro.
really. Yeah,
Bradley Beal, yeah.
of course.
Kawhi Leonard and this investigation going on, man.
Hmm.
We talked about it on three, man. I
We did.
think Steve Ballmer's in hot water, the Intuit Dome, the All Star game.
Hmm.
There's a ton to watch for with the Clippers. I think they'll be competing at a high level. Can they top the Thunder or the better teams in the West? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even with their acquisitions, I mean, John Collins, Beal, Lopez. We know Ivica Zubac will probably go higher in our dynasty draft as well. He's one of the better centers that we have in the league. So I think the
Absolutely.
Clippers are going to have an interesting season too. Hopefully, James Harden, Kawhi can stay healthy.
Hmm.
If those guys stay healthy, I think they'll finish top four in the West, which is, I mean, if you look at the Clippers roster on paper, it makes sense,
Yeah,
right? Like,
definitely.
it's if you're a hoop head, you definitely can see where that's a possibility. So I'm leaning on the side that they'll be a more interesting team to watch for in the West. So that's interesting you brought them up. That was one of mine.
Hmm. How do you think
Yeah, I
that
think,
the battle of LA is gonna be for y'all this year?
man, we'll see. Hopefully, I think we're gonna own that. I think we've been
You've been kind of running
when
it,
we talk,
right? Like
I was
whenever
about to
y'all.
say when we talk about the Clippers versus the Lakers, it's kind of like you don't really even think about the Clips.
Right. I
I
agree.
think more so now that we have Luca, it's just changed the outlook. Because you asked me that question a year and a half ago, like, what do you think the future was going to be? Well,
Yep.
I think we have that answer now.
Yeah, we do.
It is interesting though. Like, I wonder. I'm confident in our team, bro.
Hmm.
But I don't want to say that we're gonna run them out of the gym because they have a really good squad,
Right.
and it would kind of be disrespectful of me to be like, oh, we're just gonna wipe the floor with the Clippers.
For sure.
That's not true.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
That's not true. Tyronn Lue's a great coach. We know his
One of the better
capability. We
coaches.
know, yeah, he's one of the better coaches in the league. And regardless of all this other stuff that's going on outside of their team, bro, um, I think you just have to you have to be mindful that they have guys who have been in positions to win.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even with James Harden having his performance last year in the playoffs, kind of showed to me like, all right, he's kind of turning that corner. I think he's ready to compete for a championship.
I agree. So set started second round. We got Emo, D Book, and Lamelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball this early.
That was
I'm
interesting.
not, we could talk about him for a second. I'm not a big fan of him this year. I worry, I like the Hornets and their team overall. I just hope that he can stay healthy. And if LaMelo goes down, I worry that that team is going to be sputtering. I think, I saw the nutmeg
Hmm.
alley oop to Brandon Miller, and they're young and they're lit. They're going to be one of the more fun teams to watch.
Absolutely.
But would I take LaMelo with the 14th pick? Probably
Nah,
not.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting by J Rob.
I was looking at it too. I was like, oh, Lamelo's still on here. I was like, oh wait, but it's Lamelo. So you know what I
In
mean?
this
Like,
dynasty,
yeah, and it's
yeah, bro, it's just a
Dynasty,
lot
so it's tough.
for sure.
What's your
No, I like
mentality going into your second round? Or my fault, you don't have a second round pick. I
third
guess
round.
third round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thinking
what's your?
about it. That's a great question. I was gonna tell you, I'm just seeing who's getting picked because
That's what
that's
I'm doing
gonna.
too.
I'm like, now we're in a position where this stuff really matters. I was gonna tell you. I'd argue your first pick's pretty irrelevant. You're gonna hit with that,
Right.
no matter what,
More
1 through
likely
12.
than not. Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely. Cool. Picks 5, 6, 7, 8. If you nail those, that's where you win a dynasty.
Mm,
It's not your first two picks, bro.
yeah.
Because these cats are gonna be hooping. It's gonna be what you do later, and we're
It's
gonna get into the whenever we get a little bit deeper into the pod, you guys will see like who's on the board, and you'll have to start making some decisions because it gets pretty slim, especially in a 12-man, 12 teams that all care. Like it's a lot.
mm-hmm.
It's a lot. I think my mindset definitely changed a lot today, bro. Because one, I was sick. Two, I was expecting to have the 7,
Chet.
and so I was planning for that. And I now have Jokic, and so like now I'm just like, okay, how can I build around Jokic?
Right.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
obviously
want.
got Shea, so now it's kind of like thinking what can I surround him with, and I'm up. So damn, they had Cam draft Tyrese.
Ooh, it's another great pick. That's Bobby's pick though.
Interesting.
Bobby. So I ended up what I
Oh,
traded for the
Tyrese.
3 pick. Yeah, what I traded for the 3 pick was the 7 and then the 15. So he got my first round and then my second round pick as well. So 2 for 1. Definitely something you want to take. Very smart by Bobby. Really smart. He's gonna get 3 players in 2 rounds.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Think I'm gonna have to go with one of my Magic boys, man.
Desmond Bain?
No, the one and
Oh,
only
Franz. Franz Wagner.
Wagner.
All right. Why you going with him?
So I wanted to go with him. Obviously, I was kind of talking about it a little bit earlier. With my first pick, I got Shea. He's a point guard. He's only a point guard. And with the fantasy basketball, they have multiple positions. I saw Franz had shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. So it kind of puts me in a position where I could play him at any one of those if one of my other players get injured, or just a versatility. And I think what him and Paolo are going to be able to do, not saying he's going to average a crazy amount, but I mean, we saw what he was able to do last year, 40 games in a season. I think this season's going to be a little more healthier for him. I think he's going to be a all-star, potential all-NBA
Love
type of
that.
player.
I
So
love
and
that
he's
take.
also young, and that's what I'm thinking of as well. Trying to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he makes All NBA third team this year if he gets 65 games.
Mm-hmm,
I can actually tell you guys with 90% certainty.
mm-hmm.
So that's a great pick. I love that. I think Franz is the player that changed the timeline, bro. We knew Paolo was going to be special, but Franz Wagner being special, I don't know if they had that in their bingo card. So I know the Magic are obviously signing him to the $200 million extension, right? Kind
Right.
of signaling to the franchise that they're willing to ride behind this player. You have another pick coming up here soon.
I do. So trying to lock in, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. There's someone on
Yep.
here that I'm thinking about, but it just doesn't make sense for me, I think.
Guys, I have been waiting for a while. That's what happens when you trade your pick.
Yeah, how
My goodness.
does that feel for you? Are you is that first round
No,
pick? Was it what it
the
was?
guy that no, the guy that I want is still on the board. The guy that I want is still on the board. I can't say who it is, obviously, just yet for the audio listeners. But whenever I pick, my pick's coming up here. I have the 3-7. Couple decisions to make. I'm also of the belief that you have 2 options. Or 3. You can go the youth route, take all young guys, below 25. You can go a mixed route, a mixture of guys in their prime and youth, or you can go all old. So
Mm.
CJ's on the clock,
I'm on the
everybody.
clock, man. Yeah, I'm thinking. Trying to think how I want to go about this. I know, we got a decent amount of big men right now in this league, but are they consistent? Are they reliable? I don't want to overpick. Got a minute left.
Yeah, you have time.
Trying to figure out how I want to go about
I
this.
love this dynamic as well because you don't have forever to pick, which is
Yeah,
also another part of it.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Think I'm gonna have to go with them, man. Go with the big man. Think I'm going Demontis Sabonis.
It's a bonus. Wow. Wow. Okay, guys, I'm on the clock. Couple things here. I'm thinking about Kevin Durant, right? Just signing that 2-year extension. He's still on the board. I'm also thinking about VJ Edgecombe.
Mm.
VJ is starting this year at the 2 spot via Nick Nurse. For you guys who don't know, VJ Edgecombe had a crazy preseason. When we talk about youth, that's where you want to go. But when you talk about instant impact, man, Kevin Durant is that. I think Jokic is an instant impact type of guy. We know he's going to be there, right? There's a couple other options for me too. Dylan Harper, Steph Curry, Austin Reeves, Brandon Miller. Um, of course, Brunson,
Man,
right? I just don't know how much of a fantasy asset he is. I think the assists are great, but he's also 29. So I'm taking Kevin Durant. My reason for this is pretty simple, but the next 2 years, I think he'll be on the Rockets roster. Wanted to go with youth there. I really wanted to take Edgecombe, but I think it was a little early, and I might end up paying the price for that. We know Kevin Durant is going to sit at least 15 games. We'll see. I believe Kevin Durant's going to be averaging 26, 27 a night, and I can't really pass that up.
yeah,
I think having Jokic and Kevin Durant on the same team sounds pretty good to me.
that sounds really good.
Excuse me, guys. Sounds good. So can't complain.
Yeah, nah, that was a great pick, honestly. Because whenever he plays, he is going to make a difference.
He's gonna make a difference for me. All right, guys. So after the 3-7, we had Trey Murphy, John Morant, Brunson, Jamal Murray, Dylan Harper, Steph Curry. Oh, would you look at this? I'm back on the clock
Back on the
already.
clock, yes, sir.
And I'm going to take VJ Edgecombe. I mean, my goodness, I might as well. Those were the play. It's pretty simple. He's still in my queue. I was just talking highly about him, and he's still available. So I got the 2 guys that I wanted here. Oh, you're on the clock now, CJ.
I am, bro. Having to think right now. I think I'm gonna go. This guy's probably gonna be my 2 for the season. I think he's gonna have a good year, coming off of a Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
The one and
okay.
only
Stephon Castle, man.
Stephon Castle, yes, sir.
Interesting pick there, especially with who was still on the board.
We had a
De'Aaron Fox was on the board. What was your thought process behind that? Younger?
younger, and I think just
Usage?
what he can do, like even when everyone's not else
Defensively, too.
out there defensively.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's fair enough.
Swiper can play make, but I think I wanted the younger guy out of the 2.
I get
I
that.
already got Sabonis, and Franz
Oh,
and
you're right.
Shea is a
And
little
Shea,
younger. Wanted to
two
switch it up.
prime,
Wanted to make it to where I have a little bit of. I
the
have like probably
youth.
like
Yeah.
5 years left, like 5 years of you hooping, and then I also have a peak that hasn't even been seen yet. So,
Started yet. Yeah, I love that, bro. I think I'm really high on Steph Castle, man.
mm,
No, I'm a little under the weather right now, but he gets me excited, bro. I think also he had a really good preseason, and
Mm-hmm.
he seems like somebody, regardless of how many touches he's getting on the offensive end, I think he's going to make an impact on defense. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, I wanted to get Maxi so bad. Ah,
Yeah, I was. That was
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a good pick, but I'll take Edgecombe, man. Not really. My other thing though that I did want to bring up, another thing that I'm watching out for this year, since we're on the Sixers, is Joel Embiid.
mm,
We talked about the summer of Joel Embiid for a brief second there, I think on the Sixers offseason file, and it was really dope to go through all 30 teams, dude.
yeah,
But
definitely.
when we went through the Sixers specifically, I'm like, man, if Embiid can show up at all, they're going to be good. And we talked about the landscape of the Eastern Conference a bunch,
Yep.
and just seeing the Celtics, Pacers, like where everybody stands, the Knicks, Cavs, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Sixers are right in the mix, and me and you had a really cool moment. But last year on Christmas, it was like we got to watch that game, and I remember we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you, I was like, bro, everybody's playing today. Like, I think the Sixers win, and they went out and beat the Celtics, so the defending champs of 2 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll have to see what Embiid can do for them. We know VJ and Tyrese are going to be in the lineup. I just think Paul George and kind of all of that. But
Yep.
I know you're on the clock, so.
Yeah, yeah, on the clock. Zubac, Kessler, and Miller were the last picks. Marketing, Amen, and Desmond Bain as well. So I got Shea, I got Franz, Stephon Castle, and Sabonis.
Yeah,
Mm,
a lot of options here.
a lot.
I wonder who you're gonna go with. I have two guys that I want in the spot.
Hmm. I'm looking for like a forward, so think I gotta go with this guy, man.
All right. If it is who I think it is, me and you are thinking on the same wavelength. Wow, Alex Sarr.
I picked Denny Avita.
Oh, you picked Avia. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting there. I think for me, I already have this guy marked. Again, I'm going youth movement. I want to be young. I think he can play the forward spot, but it's none other than Ace Bailey from the Utah
Mm,
Jazz. You gotta you gotta take the old dudes with the young guys. I think I'm gonna do a mixture here, but Ace Bailey comes into Utah with pretty big target on his back, to be honest with you. But it seems like he's living up to the billing,
yep.
and I want to take the usage. I know he's gonna be playing, and I know Will Hardy, Coach Will Hardy's gonna have him 25, 30 minutes a night, jacking up threes, trying to build um, his entire portfolio and what he's like as a player. So I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back on the clock already.
Yeah,
So right now I
boys
got
are getting to
Jokic,
me.
Durant, VJ, Ace Bailey. I'm thinking about Embiid here.
Really?
Yeah, a little dual center. Nah, but I don't need that because Jokic is already at my center spot. I do need a good point guard though. Man, this shit's thin.
Yeah. Already, we're like 6 rounds in.
Thinking about De'Aaron Fox here, still on the board. He's had a lot of injuries, but when he's in the lineup, he can contribute. I think Darius Garland here wouldn't be a bad option.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I like Khalil Ware a lot here as well. Center, power forward, young, athletic. Man, I'm at 30 seconds, you guys. I'm starting to panic.
I'm starting to panic.
Um,
Facts.
Garland, Fox, or Ooh, I'm panicking. Okay, don't panic. Don't panic.
You got it, bro. You got it, bro.
Where? Chloe, where? There's no conviction. I gotta take De'Aaron Fox. Conviction. Wemby,
Damn.
Wemby pair.
I was gonna pick
Uh,
Khalil. Fuck. Okay, I picked him.
oh, he got snatched right before you.
God damn.
Amazon Auto, bro.
He is. His team is decent though.
Oh no. I gotta go De'Aaron Fox there, guys. I mean, reasoning is pretty simple, but the usage and plus the Wemby pairing, I mean, my goodness. I mean, you want a point guard who's going to be playing with somebody tethered to a player like Wembanyama, right? It's kind of like a Jamal Murray Jokic situation. You kind of want guys who are duos like that. I know you're on the clock though.
I think I'm gonna go with one of the better defenders on the New York Knicks,
Oh yeah?
the one and only OG Anunoby.
Oh gee. I like that. What was your thought process behind that one?
Thought process again.
The steals?
Steals, defense, boards. You know, he averaged 17 last year. I think with him too. You know, I'm getting younger guys, but I also want to mix in players that I know that are consistent and when I know I'm gonna get out of them. And I think OG Anunoby is probably one of the most consistent players on that Knicks team besides Cat and Brunson, obviously. But I think with him, it's just the defense. You know, being able to get the steals and blocks every now and then. The stocks are going to be going crazy in this league, and I think if he scores 15 to 17 points a game as well, it just adds more to it. So just being versatile, being able to have forwards that can play or power forwards that play small forward and vice versa, some guards that can play forwards. I think having a mix of everything is just good to have, especially in a league that is going to be going on forever. So
Yeah, and perpetually, yeah. I think your roster building around Shea has been pretty good too. I think Shea brings a lot of steals. Obviously, the points. OG is kind of secondary to that. He does similar stuff, just doesn't score 30, but gets 3, 4 steals and is still one of the premier defenders that we have in this league. So I'm right there with you, man. That's a great pick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think we're Bobby's on the clock right now. He's at 30 seconds. Guys, it starts to get pretty thin here, man. As we go through 7, 8 rounds in a Dynasty 12 team, it starts to get thin.
Joel Embiid.
Embiid went. Knuppel. Yeah, I'm thinking here, man.
Yeah, me too. I think I know who I would take if he doesn't get taken right here. It's gonna be a backup for Sabonis, younger guy. I already got a player on his team. I don't know if that really matters in fantasy basketball. It's my first year actually keeping up with it, but I think for what my roster has right now, I need a backup center, and I have forwards that can pretty much play 2 to 4. So I need a actual backup center, and I think this guy, if he could get his cardio right, if he could get his endurance and stamina, I think he's gonna be one of the better bigs. He's young. Donovan Clingan.
Wow, Donovan Clingan. Okay, I think I got to go with Darius Garland here. My thinking is the De'Aaron Fox and Darius Garland shouldn't be on the board at this point.
They shouldn't.
And if I could get both of them, I don't see a problem with that, especially at the guard positions. They're both point guards, but I'd be able to make it work. I was thinking about Kyrie here, but I just don't know what he'll be like coming off the injury. My other person was Reed Shepherd. So Reed Shepherd is the youth play. We know Reed is going to be obviously involved since Fred VanVleet's injury. Yeah, I mean, I think I've got to go with Reed Shepard. Wow. Wow, we.
Reed
And there's a
Shepard.
reason for that, man. At
Definitely.
21 years old, with point guard and shooting guard eligibility, Fred Van Fleet's injury gives him a clear pathway this season.
Mm-hmm.
And watching him in the preseason, he looks like one of the better scorers. Oh my gosh.
They're going crazy.
Okay.
You're up again.
Yeah, I'm already back up there. So guys, I have Jokic, Durant, Edgecombe, Bailey, Fox, Reed Shepard. I could still grab Darius Garland here. For some reason, he's fallen so
So
far.
far. So far.
And people need,
Guards.
yeah. I have guards. I have a decent amount. I need more forwards, but I think those are more available. There's still some really good forwards that are available, especially later in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go with Garland here? Because my thought process surrounding that is like Garland, Reed Shepard, Fox. That's a pretty good guard combo.
Mm-hmm.
But I might need to go with a forward here. I got MPJ, Julius Randle, Hero's still there. Man, ugh, this is tough. I think I got to go with a forward. Man, I just don't know who it would be. Matherin, no.
5.
I've got I've got to go with Michael Porter Jr.
Michael
I
Porter
mean,
Jr.
Michael MPJ on the Nets. It's not the best pick, but
I'm not mad at that though.
I'm not mad at it. I just there's so many guards available. I didn't really know who to go with at the forward spot. A bit of a panic pick, but I think he can give you some value. Oh, you're on the clock now.
I sure am. I don't know how I'm feeling. I got a good backup center. You know, I don't want to stock up just on one position, but I also don't want to not be able to get a player if he falls to me, you know.
Of course.
Um I have, like I said, a lot of my players can play multiple positions, so I'm not stressing out too much about like having a specific one. So I think
Yeah,
right now,
positional utility.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I'm trying to go with just who like a little bit of youth, but also experience at the same time. I think I'm gonna go with Julius Randle.
Wow. That's a great pick. That's probably should who I should have taken. I panicked and I took MPJ. Not mad with it, but Randall provides way more utility in the sense that he has continuity with his team. We know the Timberwolves are going to be a top 7, top 6 team in the West probably. With Ant's ascension, you want to be tied to something like that. And I think Randall could
He
end up finishing his career in Minnesota.
he showed me and he showed you too, bro. Like just what he can do being being a number 2. You know what I mean? I feel like in New York he was asked upon to be the best player on the team and to lead them. I'm not saying that he doesn't have the capability to do that, but I think he is a better 2 on your team and he can kind of just get in where he fits in. And bro, when he was going against y'all, the Lakers, bro, in the first round, he was proving me wrong because I up to that point, you know, I'm a you have to show me type of guy, and he hadn't shown me that he can perform in the playoffs. And last year he did, bro, and really up until the Western Conference Finals, he was cooking, and then you know he ran into the Thunder. But besides that, bro, his playoff run was incredible, and I think you know, like I said, having a mixture of youth and players that are already established. I think he's one of the better players in this league and could potentially be an all-star. So, I'm excited to have him on my team, and he's a starter as well. I think being able to snag a player in the 8th round that's a starter is pretty underrated. Gotta be able to have the youth movement, but also figure out Trey Johnson. Nice, that was a good pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
But yeah, no, I'm
He was
about
in
to
my queue.
I'm about to be up next soon here, boys. So
Okay. Yeah, I had Trey Johnson queued up. Um, Obviously, you want to get on him. Very high value guy. A couple really interesting dudes coming up in this round.
younger guys,
Yeah, a lot of younger guys.
I'm up.
There you go.
I think I know who I'm gonna go with, bro.
Yeah.
Someone that like I was saying, got a decent amount of young guys, have a decent amount of veterans, you would say, in this league. But I think this player is in between. He's shown us that he could go off, get 30 points a game, or 30 points in a game. Sorry, very streaky.
No.
But I think
No. I know who you're going with.
I
No,
think I,
no,
I think I gotta
no.
go with him, bro.
No.
Kobe White.
Yeah. Okay, now I got to take Simon since you took Kobe White. I like Kobe White a little bit more than
Me
Simons.
too. I was thinking of Simons too. That was who was.
I know, I know, I know. I ended up getting the short end of the stick here, guys, but it's okay. I think Simons gives you similar value to Kobe White. He's
I
just
agree.
in a different role,
Mm-hmm.
right? Very streaky, 30 points. I think on the Celtics, though, he's going to be asked to bomb away from three, and that's somebody I'd like to have on my team, especially with the point guard, shooting guard eligibility. And
Yeah.
I have a really good guard roster
Mm-hmm.
right now, between Reed Shepard, Simons, and De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I can't complain.
Yes, sir.
I think like Lakers tomorrow is going to look really interesting without Bron. We haven't talked much about the Lakers, but
Yeah.
I was hoping to get Luka, right? But I think the dynamic between him and Austin Reeves is going to be interesting to watch tomorrow. I'm excited to get a chance to break down that game. And I think the Warriors, I'm not sure. I think Jimmy Butler's questionable. Kuminga's questionable,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little weird, but they'll probably go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the Warriors will be up.
You're up right now.
You said,
You're up right
yeah.
now.
Oh, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up. Okay.
Sorry,
Thank
I
you.
didn't want to
No, you're good. I don't
interrupt,
want to miss
but
this.
I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
don't want to.
jump.
I don't want to miss it. I have Kamara teed up here.
Oh, nice.
He just recently got signed.
He sure did.
One of the better defensive players that we have in this league, and again has the shooting guard, small forward, point guard eligibility. So I really like him.
I think I know I'm a pick, man. We just talked about him in
Oh
our
yeah.
in our last off-season files that we just did, bro. Think
Okay.
he
Koulibaly.
he's their bright spot on the defensive side for the Washington Wizards. He's another starter, which I feel like is
Important.
I'm important to me, especially as a young player trying to get better, get your footing in the league. And I think with him, bro, it's just really, we talked about it in the offseason files. If he could establish a consistent jump shot, I think that will elevate his game. We know what he's going to be on the defensive end. But I think Bilal Koulibaly, bro, having the youth, having the starter spot, and it's, just getting experience. I think, he's a perfect, backup utility player for me on the defensive side.
I really like that. Bilal Koulibaly. I mean, yeah, I'm looking for a little bit more youth here at center. My team's a bit thin now at the center spot, just with Jokic. I'm looking for a center with our next pick.
Yeah.
Currently, my roster is looking like Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, VJ Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, De'Aaron Fox, Reed Shepard, MPJ, Anthony Simons, and Toumani Camara. Pretty solid.
I like that.
For sure. I'm rocking out with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty content with my team, bro. Too, I like it. I'm excited, bro. This shit starts tomorrow too. I'm gassed. I'm so lit, bro.
Starts like right tomorrow,
Literally
bro, and we'll
tomorrow.
be on live on Assist. We'll
We
be
sure
on the
will.
live stream, and
We sure will.
I think we'll be giving the guys, something they can get behind every once in a while. You guys want to pop over on the live stream, please do. We'll make it
Absolutely.
worth your time.
Yeah, man. Provide value and also, entertain a little bit.
Entertain, yeah. That's like the side of me and CJ you guys won't always see, bro. So I think it'll be cool. Like it's one thing for us to come on here and do a podcast. We have the outlines. We're gonna make it organized for you guys, but that's more of the unorganized. Like you don't know what can happen because it's a
Mm-hmm.
live game.
Right. Exactly, bro.
But yeah, I mean, you got who you got? You got Koulibaly, Kobe White, Julius Randle, Klingon,
Mm-hmm.
OG Anunoby, Avia, Castle, Sabonis, Franz, and Shea.
Hey,
Shea is crazy,
I
man.
like I
I had to take Jokic though.
yeah, I was about to say I'm so glad
I
I was
can't.
able to get Shea, bro. That's
Yeah,
just gonna make my
that's
fandom for
crazy.
him even
That's lucky. That's
super
lucky
lucky.
because we randomized the draft order, bro. That could have been you could have been anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's by the grace of God right there. Maybe it was meant to be.
It was meant to be, bro. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna have to go at center here too, bro.
Interesting.
So I don't know if I'm gonna take who you want.
You might.
I might,
That'd be frustrating.
cause I got Sabonis. I feel like Sabonis is probably, I don't know off the top, but I'd assume he's probably one of the higher scoring bigs, right? Centers in like the league for the
Definitely.
season.
I think he's top three.
Rebounds, assists, scoring. League leader. So I'm kind of trying to go with the youth movement, like you said, bro. That's what I'm really trying to
Oh
fixate
no! Oh
on.
no! Oh
And
no!
I was kind of high on this guy, so if he doesn't get taken right
Oh
here,
no! Wait, I think I know who you're going with. I think I'll have to go with the other dude
that
then,
I think
because I thought about these two dudes.
I know who you were thinking about too.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
see if you do it.
he did not get taken
Though.
with the 11th pick in the 3-man weave dynasty year 1 draft. I'm going Derek Queen.
So now I've got to take Kamal Malawak. It's only right.
That's who I was thinking you were gonna take.
Unfortunately, you took Derek Queen. I think the injury gives you, we play taxi spots as well. You'll be able to put him on your taxi. So
Yeah.
you'll be able to insert him into your lineup whenever you feel ready. I think Malawak gives you a guy who's going to start from the jump.
100%.
And I'm kind of excited about the Suns. They were like, when I wrote down my list about who I was excited, the storylines of the NBA, I wrote down the Suns, but I ended up taking them off the list. I think they'll probably outperform expectations. I'm just really excited for Kamal Malawak. So I can't
Me
I
too.
can't
I
I
think he's gonna be
can't be
really
too
good.
mad about that. Yeah,
He got bigger
and
too
he's
already.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he's gonna give me a lot of blocks. And blocks are worth 4 points in this league, guys. So they're really, really valuable.
Mm-hmm. Who would you
Yeah,
say
Malawak.
like you've been doing Dynasty for 3 years?
Yeah.
Who would you say is like obviously the besides the like top 5
Top
guys,
dudes, yeah.
who's like consistent throughout a whole season that you've noticed in your 3 years of playing?
That's a great question. Outside of the top
Outside of
five.
like
Yeah.
besides like maybe like the first round, like because like you said, you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
understand that those are
Sabonis is up there for
really.
me. He's performed like he's not a first round guy a lot of the times, not off the first 12.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're able to get him, I'm on the clock. But if you're able to get him, I think that gives your team a lot of options just because of what he could do at the center spot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of a discount Jokic.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
What are you thinking? What's your
yeah,
thought
team is
process?
pretty full now. I can kind of go with whoever. Looking at more utility spots, I have a lot of dudes that I'm looking at here. Sorber's interesting to me here. A lot of these guys aren't necessarily starters. I like Jaden Ivey. I like Topic.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's just not a ton of forwards. like Jalen Wells, Caruso. Sohan, Sorber, Keontae George. With 20 seconds, it's kind of starting to get to the point where you got to make a decision. I'm honestly not 100% sure, and I think that means I got to just take Jaden Ivey. I think a lot of people forgot about him and what he can do with Cade, and he had an injury riddled season, but I'd argue that he's still a really good player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, bro, the roster's kind of rounded out. I think I'm just trying to get some guys. Probably, I have a pretty youthful roster already, but I think getting younger guys, anyways, for a dynasty league is never a bad thing, and they can contribute right away. I think that makes it even a little bit better.
Better.
I think I gotta go with my young guy on the roster, bro. Casey Wallace.
Jason Wallace, yeah, there you go. I think there's some value picks still, especially with the rookies. I like Young Hansen a lot. We've talked
That's
about
what.
him.
Yep. I was looking at him, seeing how far he would go.
Yeah, because you don't want to push it. I think I have my next guy queued up. So another young guy. Um, at this point, I'm looking for forwards, guards. No more bigs, probably.
Yeah, you.
With only
Who
three
your
more
who
picks
your
left.
bigs? Malawa.
Topic, Durant, Bailey. It's not the greatest, honestly. It's definitely led by Topic. Or sorry,
Jokic.
Jokic.
I was like Topic. Yeah. I was like, hold on, wait. Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
My brain is all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like my center spot, like you said, is solid. Two young guys, one that is gonna be playing, and then one that's gonna be coming back from an injury, and then obviously Sabonis. I got my lead guard, and then I have Castle, who could be
There you go. You're on the clock.
on the clock, ready. We in here. Looking at the roster, Franz, Stephon Castle.
I like this guy at this spot. I really do. I was hoping I would be able to get him. I'll be honest with you guys, man. I'm of the belief you should go with youth now at the end of your draft. It should be pretty much all upside guys. It's so thin.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna go with this guy, man. Getting a lot of players on the same team. Got one of his teammates. I think this guy, being on a new roster this year, is gonna have a lot to prove. We'll see how much time he gets playing, but I think this is one of those players. Just having him on your team, just what we know he could do, and being how young he is, then I gotta go with Cam Whitmore, bro.
Cameron Whitmore. I love that pick, man. I think, I'm on the clock as of now. I thought you might take this guy. I'm gonna go with Walton Clayton Jr. Another young product, but somebody who is showing a lot of promise in the preseason, and I think he's gonna get a lot of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about playing on the Utah Jazz, he's gonna have a lot of options, and he's gonna have a lot of basically he's going to have a lot of opportunities to be able to make plays. I think you got to think about it from a perspective. They're going to be wanting to lose games. I was going to tell you this, bro, And I really want AJ DeBansta, so like I might end up tanking out. We'll see.
Okay.
I ended up trading 2 picks for one, and like my team is a little bit more on the youth side, so I'm
I
probably not
see.
going
I
to
see
be
why you
uber
would.
competitive.
Okay. I like that.
But
I like your ideology. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're
mhm.
leaning more towards the youth movement and trying to build through that. Okay, I see you, bro.
Yeah, bro, because I'm like, man, somebody's gonna hit. Reed Shepard, Ace Bailey, Malawak, Clayton. Somebody's gonna hit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You're right.
And so I'm just like, man, I think here you want to take like a young Hansen or something like that.
Yeah.
High upside guys. Lillard's still on the board. How do you feel about that? Wow.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Damian Lillard.
Yeah. It's with how
Oh my
the
gosh.
future and stuff. It makes sense.
2 years ago, he was Dynasty 10.
That's
You
crazy.
know, he's ranked 10, but now he may not even be picked. That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, you can't take Lillard. Lillard's gonna eat up a roster spot. Caruso. Okay, I'm back on the board. Some options here. I mean,
Yeah, we got some players still.
Nikhil Alexander Walker, Fred VanVleet, Clay, Gigi Jackson.
Mm.
Um, I think I might have to take like Nikkei Clifford, bro,
Mm. That's a
or
solid one.
something like that.
I like that.
Um, just a young guy. It's either him, Young, or Topic.
Yeah.
I like Topic a lot. I'm gonna take Topic here.
That's
I
who I
think when
was.
he,
That's who I was looking at for
yeah,
sure. 100%.
when he, yeah, when Topic is on the court and he can give you, mind you, in 15 to 20 minutes, Topic might be able to give you 8, 4, and 5,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of players can't do that in the NBA right now. Like, I don't think I can name you 100 guys that could give me that type of production.
Yeah.
I think
No.
his injury risk is high,
Mm-hmm.
but
That kind of leans into your the mentality though going into the season though.
yeah.
Good player,
Hmm.
like you say, he could hit, but if he gets injured, it's not like, he's young. He's only like 20, so he has time. He can, take a couple seasons to kind of really
Develop,
get his
right.
footing. I like
Yeah,
that. That
take
was
two
that was.
seasons.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really thinking about him, bro.
Okay.
Really thinking about him. Hmm.
I'm pretty thin at the forward spot, bro.
This is interesting.
I think I got my last guy queued up though.
Think I gotta go with this guy, bro. You
Let's see.
you brought him up. I think he's gonna be good. He's gonna be have a bigger role in this team now, and he's a young guy, so getting the best of both worlds. Jalen Wells.
Fuck, I was gonna take him. That's a great pick there. Just the jaw injury gives him an immediate boost, and even with jaw coming back, I think Desmond Bane's departure gives Jalen Wells a much clearer pathway to success. So, very high upside pick right there. It's a great pick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Damn, I don't know who to take. Oh man,
Last pick of the draft, boys, coming up.
we're here. We made it.
Made it.
I think young Hansen, right?
Yeah, bro.
Man, I wish I got Tyrese Maxey. I'm mad. Bobby took that pick from me, man. Bobby took Cade, Maxey, and then ended up taking Jalen Johnson. That's what that trade turned into for Bobby from pick 3. Those 3 players.
That's solid.
Unbelievable.
That was
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
it's a great
That's
great
really good
draft for
value.
him. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he won that trade looking back on it because Jokic is just one player. And I think between those 3 players, you're going to get more than 140 points of production,
Mm.
which Nikola Jokic just can't do by himself.
Mm-mm-mm. What we thinking, boys? I mean, roster's looking decent. Can't really complain. It would just be another player to have. Like you said, kind of leaning on a young guy, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to at these picks. These are where you really
Sure.
make a difference.
Right, because all of these other dudes are going to be on waivers.
Mm-hmm. I like this guy, man. Ex OKC, gonna be on Charlotte. We got injured last year. Think I've been super high on him. I think he could be one of the better bench scoring players. The one and only Trey Man.
Trey, man. There you go. I think I got to go with Bradley Beal. I mean, with my last pick on the Clippers, I think he's going to be in a way better spot in terms of headspace and just what they expect from him coming in on that pretty cheap deal. I think he'll be really useful for my team. And hopefully he gets 15, 20 points this season. I think if he could average 15 and 4, I mean, Bradley Beal is a solid addition to my team, especially with the 15th pick. So
Yeah, I like that. That was a
got
good
to
one.
take it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if Brad should be on the board this low, honestly.
I agree because he's gonna be playing meaningful minutes. He's gonna
He's
be
gonna start, yeah, or
yeah,
like yeah, he'll be like playing
yeah.
30
I would
minutes.
say yeah. If he's not starting, he's gonna be still getting 25, 30 minutes a game. So that was a solid pick. Being last pick too of the draft. There's still
Yeah, I gotta take.
some decent players on the that are gonna
I was
be
gonna tell you, I gotta pick up somebody off waivers, bro,
100%.
because I got 14 players
Mm,
because I traded.
I forgot about that. Yeah, shit. You still got. There's still some decent players. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'll be
If
fine.
you know type shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we will see who really knows ball, right?
Right there, you go. I mean, this was my team as of now. VJ, Ace Bailey, De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Durant, MPJ, Kamara, Jokic, Reed Shepard, Simons, Kamal Malawak, Jaden Ivey, Walter Clayton, Nikola Topic, and Bradley Beal.
Nice, nice. What do you think about
I
that?
can't complain. I, I would say it's like a 6 out of 10.
Do you get
You know,
like a grade report and shit like that?
I wish, bro. Nah, they don't grade it. They should do it though. I
Yeah,
wish they would grade it like ESPN.
yeah. I was about to say they have everything else.
They
Literally.
have everything else, literally, but the draft report. But I think I got a good mixture of like guys in their prime, youth, and then like I think MPJ is in his prime. I think he could give me 30 points, low key.
Oh, Dame was taken.
So, oh, he was taken. Wow, I can't take Dame.
Nah.
He's bones, bro.
Yeah, my squad is Shea, Franz, Stephon Castle, Denny Avita, OG Ananobi, Julius Randle, DeMontis Sabonis, Donovan Clingan, Kobe White, Bilal Coulibaly, Derek Queen, Cason Wallace, Cam Whitmore, Jalen Wells, and Trey Mann.
Damn, that seems good. That seems good.
I like that. I like that, bro.
You gonna be competitive, probably, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Gonna be competing, man. It's the first one,
Fair enough.
It's our league, can't go out too sad.
I feel you. I'm just looking forward to the band stuff. I'm gonna make some moves for that.
Yeah.
If I could add him to this roster, I think I'll be fine. Jokic, 32. That's like my plan. That's my overall plan, and I'll let people know that because I'm gonna be making trades to get. Whenever the season goes along, because the draft picks, you shouldn't trade your draft pick earlier in the season because you don't know what it's gonna be. Let's say like I'll make a trade with you start of the season for draft picks,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Well, what if you end up having a worse season?
Yeah.
So now you got my pick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
I
it
will
just don't
already
make
have a
sense.
higher pick too.
Yeah,
Because the pick is based off a record,
of course.
as it should
So like
be.
if you're tanking,
No lottery?
no lottery.
That'd be crazy.
I know, right? You could just choose, but yeah, just do a little pull out the hat. But yeah, just it's a reverse standing. So if you lose, if you're 12th, you get first.
Makes sense. Well, yeah, man. I just took a screenshot of the whole board, so I'll put it on display for everyone. But yeah, I think that was dope. We had a live draft reaction to
There you
the
go.
squad, so I feel
Yeah.
good. What are your how does it is it by week? So how many games is there?
Let's go. I mean, you can go look at your schedule now. It
Oh
should be
shit.
live. Um, if we go to the league and it's a 17-week season.
17.
So there you go, man. And yeah, I'm not projected to do so hot out the gate, but
Oh, I go against Cam first week.
yeah. You go against Kim,
Cam first week.
that's lit, bro. Yeah, this is gonna be turn. I
I'm
think.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, bro. And yeah, I think just the storylines mixed in with the fantasy, it'll be good to bring it to the viewers. And yeah, bro, I'm excited for the games tomorrow. I think
Hmm.
my other story was Cooper Flag, bro. I think just I'm sure he was on your list too, but seeing what the Mavericks can do, kind of with this Luka trade and the aftermath with all of that, seeing what him and AD can do together, I think I'm really excited to see. As it pertains to the Lakers storyline, probably watching Braun. I wonder, I think not that he's checked out, but it would make a lot of sense for him to kind of coast through this year and decide what he wants to do next year.
Hmm.
I'm just being on that 1 year deal and trying to do a little one more trial run with the Lakers and see how it works out. I think having Luka Doncic in our, I mean, facility somehow. I don't even know how that still happened, but the fact that he's here, bro, it's like you got to do everything you can in your power to make sure you're building around him. That's why Rob Pelinka got Aiton, Smart, Laravia. Like there's so many. There's a lot. I mean, and the extension with JJ. There's just a lot of dynamics that the Lakers have to worry about, bro.
Hmm. No,
So we'll see. Like we'll see.
yeah. No, it's exciting, bro. I'm ready to see what y'all look like, bro. Because like you said, obviously not having Braun there, and he's a huge part of y'all's team. So seeing what Luca can do, I've been talking to you all off season, pretty much right since it ended. Just ready to see like that revenge season for Luca. So I'm excited for that, and I don't think I think he's winning MVP, bro. Like I don't think he's gonna miss a beat. What he was doing in the Eurobasket, just seeing what he can be when he's healthy. Like we already know,
Yeah,
like we've seen it plenty of times for countless seasons that he's been in the league, and just seeing what AR can do. Seeing like his jump. Hopefully, he takes a huge leap this year. He already took a leap going into or last year going into the season. So I think just seeing
yeah, the
him
season prior.
getting just more comfortable. You know what I mean? I think he was getting a little bodied in the playoffs a little bit, and it was a little uncomfortable
100%.
for him. His shot wasn't getting knocking down as efficient as he was during the regular season, but he had a whole off season to work on that. So I think him and Luca is going to be a offensive, you know, shoot house.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
night.
bro.
Just it's
100%.
gonna be if they could get a
Gonna be
couple
a madhouse.
stops and just like you said, their defense as well. You've been harping on it pretty much all season long last year, and I'm hoping to see an improvement for them. So this test is gonna be a good one for them. Like you said, Warriors are one of those teams where they're older, yes, but the way they play basketball, it'll be a good test for especially the first game of the season for the Lakers to kind of see where how they looking so far, because
Yeah, how they stand up, how they measure.
how they measure up against Steph Curry, bro, and that team. So I think I'm excited, bro, and just ready, bro. So ready, and
Yeah,
the fact that
I
we
wanted
could.
to see Steph versus Braun, bro, but I think that Kevin Durant will. We have a storyline too in OKC. I think they'll be receiving their rings, and
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant's returning there. We'll see the dynamic with that. I think OKC is going to win though, even with
Mm-hmm.
no J Dub,
Mm-hmm.
which we haven't talked about that yet. How you feel about that? Him
Um.
probably being out.
Yeah. Obviously, it sucks, but I'd rather have him get healthy. Obviously, he was a huge contributor to that finals championship team, but I'd rather have him get good so it just doesn't become a nagging injury throughout the season because I'd rather have him miss the beginning, kind of start slow towards however I think he's probably going to be out for a month, so that's probably like 16 games, 15 games, maybe 12, whatever, and it's
Yeah, 12, 15.
just trying to get his footing right. I want him to make sure he's good because he's we just locked him up for 5 years, him, Chet, and Shea. So there, it's like the dynasty stuff, bro, where you want to get your young guys and make sure they're good. Don't want to rush them back from
Yeah,
a
you don't,
massive surgery that affected
especially if
him.
you're going to the playoffs anyway.
So it's gonna be goals or aspirations for us are obviously to make it back to the chip. So if that's the case, let these guys rest at the beginning of the season, let them get healthy, and then from that on, we could push forward. But obviously it sucks, especially with the season that he just had, just having that crazy year of pretty much getting on every team that you could be and seeing his progression on the offensive side, being able to create for himself is going to be a huge hole that we're going to have to
Yeah,
fill. But I think the boys are ready, bro. I'm excited. I think it's going to be an emotional one for sure. Being able to see my team raise that banner, get the rings. KD's there. That's going to be probably the main headline. They're probably going to be having a
yeah,
camera on
100%.
KD type
Have the
of thing,
camera there and stuff.
seeing him look at, yeah. So I think it's gonna be a good one, bro. Rockets probably had one of the better off seasons as well. I don't think I even brought them up whenever we were talking about them
Did not.
earlier,
Yeah,
but they definitely had one of the better ones, getting KD and just being able to like kind of move on from Jalen Green, and now you have Sengun coming into a year, you're coming off an All-Star season, and Amen Thompson having the year he just had. So it's crazy, bro. It's a lot of
all
storylines
coming
for
together for him.
opening night, bro, and then obviously Wednesday is gonna be a loaded docket. So I'm super excited, bro. Cannot wait.
Yeah, bro, we got a lot to chop it up about, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the draft, man. I think we'll see. I think OKC gets the W. Houston should play pretty good defense, but they're going to be, running that big lineup, and we'll see how that fares. But on Wednesday we have the 14 game slate or whatever, so we'll see all the other. I think the other, what is it, 26 teams play, so 13 game slate going to be massive. We'll have it up on the outline and it'll be dope. But yeah, hopefully the dynasty draft went well for you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited.
I'm glad we were able to do that live for the audio listeners and the viewers as well. And I'm excited to stay on track with that, bro. I feel like it'll keep us locked in even more so than we already are, even though we don't need that.
Hmm.
And just for like Mikey and Ev, a couple other guys, maybe it'll give them an opportunity to pop on the podcast, see,
Yeah.
if it's during the playoffs or something like that, we'll have somebody roll in here or something like that.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm down for that too, bro. Like you said,
Yeah,
building up the community. I feel like that's where it's why we started doing this and why
that's where it's at.
we keep
Yeah,
doing it. Try to just get like minded people in the same group. And if you're in a dynasty league, I'm assuming you probably are gonna keep up with basketball at least to know who's doing
heavy.
what. So it's cool, bro. Like you said, the fact that we're able to get it filled out. I think one person actually left, so I don't know.
Yeah, I just saw that. Like he just like dipped
Just
out
did,
as soon as
yeah.
the draft done.
So and that person had a decent team, bro. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, is it just gonna be
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'll probably do is just make it public, and then somebody who
somebody
joins will
joins?
just get that team. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a
yeah,
solid
because I
team.
don't, I don't, I don't know. I didn't know Q Raw, so he was one of like he was somebody I didn't know
Okay,
when you had asked me earlier. But
for sure. Yeah.
it's
So
all
we
right.
we have an open spot. I don't know if anybody wants
Yeah,
that,
I know,
but
right?
maybe I'll ask Alex. I don't know if because they got Cooper. So
I was gonna say you could ask Carlos, Alex. Like, I think it was just dope to have it like filled out. I was just hoping we could do the draft, so I'm glad we were able to do it.
yeah, bro. I'm excited. Cannot wait. It's the start of our
Can't wait.
fantasy basketball league. So this is history that y'all
There
were
you
able to
go. Yeah.
witness. Get to see the build up,
Yep.
and this is gonna be our roster for the foreseeable future. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to chop it up about, or anything else, other
Nah, I mean
comments?
the storylines, like you could say Wemby. I think I had Clippers and Cooper Flag, but I had the Suns on there. I took it off. I was gonna say Wemby, but you guys already know that. I think I'm just excited, bro, for this. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, now we're here. We've waited the 3 months. Like, there's really now we're waiting to see the result. Like, I think for me, just getting to the playoffs, trying to climb the mountaintop is something I'm looking forward to do, and just pump out the content on here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just continue to chop it up Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and try to do as much as we can for the community. And just coming on here, chopping it up with you, bro. I know I'm a little under the weather, but it was good, bro. I'm glad we were able to finish up the episode.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I appreciate you doing that too, because you could have easily just sat this one out, or we'll do it
Yeah,
another time, or but
I
you're
mean, we had that draft, bro. I can't sit that out, man.
exactly.
I was
So,
gonna say this
but
is a big deal, bro, because we're gonna be doing this for years.
hmm yeah, no. A couple of my storylines. I mean, I brought it up earlier. Hawks, can they beat the mediocrity label that they've been given pretty much
Given right,
since Trae Young has been there? Another one, I brought it up as well. Can Desmond Bain have the Orlando Magic's offense functional
coming.
and not
Yeah, coming.
and not stuck in mud at certain points of
Yeah.
games? And then obviously, come on, you know it. You know the
There
vibes.
you go.
Can
The defending
can the
champs.
defending champs go back to back? I mean, that's a huge one for me. Obviously, a Thunder fan. But I mean, those are my main ones, man. I'm excited, bro. The season starts tomorrow. We've been waiting for
It
this
does.
since the season ended in June, and
Ended.
I think it's a huge like you said, just a huge moment for us, just being able to do this for a whole year long. I think we almost hit 100 episodes this season. So shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you for putting in the
Shout
work,
out to you as well.
putting in that outline, bro. You help out
Yeah.
massively, and obviously I wouldn't be able to do it without you. So I think this is a
Likewise,
dope
bro.
way to close this season, and opening it up to the next one on Wednesday, and
Yeah, we'll be in season 3.
we'll be talking about the Thunder and the Lakers for sure. So
Yeah, bro.
can't
A
wait,
hundred
man.
percent. We'll be on the live, and yeah, season 3 at 3 Man, man. It's been a journey, and crossing the 1,000 subscriber mark's been huge, and just keep getting the watch time up. And we appreciate all the viewers. And yeah, if you guys want to join the Dynasty League, just let us know, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I was gonna
do
ask
it.
you, is there any way you would think about an expansion for the league, or how would that work?
Yes. Yeah, like we would do
Like an
like
expansion draft
a
type shit?
supplemental. Yeah, but like those 2 teams that are drafting, like you have to. I'm pretty sure you would have to give like a certain amount of players from your roster
Gotcha.
to fill them out. So
Yeah.
like they're not just drafting from waivers and then rookies. It's like you would pick like which players, kind of like how they do in the NBA. But I'll have to look into
Like
that. I'm assuming that's how it'll
untouchables,
work.
obviously, and they could choose from
Yeah,
any.
like you're not gonna give them Shea, but you'll give them Advia or
Right.
something like
Right.
something where you're like, man, I can't believe I'm giving this up. But if it's one of our homies who are joining,
Right.
it's
It
fine.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
Because
sense.
Zach actually asked that question to me, because I told him, I was like, yeah, we have our dynasty draft, and I was like, yeah, it's the one that like you keep the same team, and he was like, do you think y'all are able to like expand it? I was like, I'd assume so. I just don't know how that will
Yeah,
work. So, but yeah,
yeah,
no, if we 4 years deep and more people want to join, come on, man, the more the
you could
merrier,
definitely,
man.
yeah, you
We can work
can
some stuff
spread
out.
it out, and at some point we'll also probably make a new one.
Right.
But this is like our first one, so just trying to bring in the community, like you said, and for me and you, I think it's just more competitiveness.
Yeah,
Just
of
when I
course.
face you during the week, we're gonna have another topic to talk about during
Yep.
3 Man.
100%.
I'm gonna just be like, "Come on, CJ, like
Let's
what
do
you
it.
got, bro? I'm gonna start KD today, man. I'm not tanking this week.
Right.
I'm up there.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah,
We'll
bro.
see
I'm excited, bro. Yeah, man. If
for sure.
Was there anything else you wanted to say before we head out, bro?
Nah, man. I think that'll do it for the boys over here at 3 Man Weave. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate everybody. You know, I apologize for being under the weather. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And we'll catch you guys next time, man. Peace.
Three
Three
man,
man,
three
three
man,
man.
three.